马来西亚总理呢这两天接受了采访，他说台湾是中国的一部分，毋庸置疑。假使某个州决定脱离马来西亚这个国家，我也会使用武力进行捍卫。
I always take Malaysia as an example. If one province decide to break away, do we use force? I think I will protect the sanctity and unity of the nation.
So you would use force?
Yes.
这两天呢，我有点感冒，所以本期呢，请大家允许我偷懒一下，我说一半，然后呢，把这采访的高光片段，大约6-7分钟，放在视频的后半部分。我先说2个观点。马来西亚的总理表达了非常朴素的观点，而且是根本的事实啊。我们经常在两岸之间听说，台湾问题是中国内战的延续。我完全赞同这种事实，但是从这一个角度来说，就显得我们的格局太小了。这只能是一个战术性的描述。而战术性的描述根本就没有办法把事情的本质给它说出来。若说台湾问题仅仅只是内战的延续，只是为两岸再次发动战争找一个理由罢了，因为两岸之间现在没有签订和平协议。从法理的角度来说，我们两岸依然处于战争状态。所以如果追究台湾问题的本质是什么，它是中国近200年来积贫积弱的后遗症，是殖民主义留下的毒瘤，这才是事情的本质。而更本质的东西呢，就是你国家民族变弱了。就像一个人一样，一旦身体变弱了，各种疾病都会找上门来。一旦你变得十分强壮，则没有问题。我这两天身体稍微弱一些，结果就感冒了。所以呢，这就是为什么中国大陆要忍辱负重去实现中华民族伟大复兴。有很多人不能理解为什么要忍辱负重，你现在明白了吧？你就得忍辱负重，只要你实现了民族的伟大复兴，你现在面临的几乎所有的阻碍将会烟消云散。所以呢，我们才是最根本的从病灶源头出发来治病。所以台湾问题必将随着民族复兴经过一场手术来解决。现在解决台湾问题呢，无非也就2个手段，一个是采用中药的方式，一个是西药的方式。中药的方式很简单，通过喝一些药剂来解决，对身体伤害极小，但是见效慢，但是比较彻底。而西药呢，短暂而猛烈，对身体有伤害。所以对应的就是一个和平统一，一个武力统一，所以非常简单的。第二个观点，这也就是我个人为什么对马来西亚这个国家比较喜欢的原因，因为这个国家是可以理性客观讨论问题的，这是当今世界一个极其稀缺的品质。我们放眼全世界，真正一国领导人能和你客观理性讨论问题的少之又少。台湾能吗？台湾社会能否理性客观讨论问题？根本不可能。日本不行，欧美更加不行了。台湾就是被欧美带跑偏的，天天搞政治斗争、意识形态， 结果根本不愿意从事实出发讨论问题。印度更不行，天天在那吹牛。俄罗斯其实也不行。所以当今世界能够真正理性客观探讨问题的，咱们中国是一个，马来西亚是一个，新加坡之前可以，现在也逐渐不行。所以呢，我认为像这种理性客观的国家，好国家。而且马来西亚呢对中国还不错，两国华人本来关系就十分融洽，现在呢马来人其实也还不错，当然有个别马来人不是那么友好但是那个咱今天就不去讨论了。至少这个国家的总理说的话非常不错吧，人家说的是事实啊。但是偏偏呢，当今西方所控制的舆论和那些国家都无法从事实讨论问题。我认为当你们的技术优势消失的时候，你们如果再不能从事实的角度讨论问题，中国近代如何积贫积弱的，你们将来也是如此。核武器保护不了你们，不要迷信核武器。所以给这位马来西亚总理点赞。时间到了，大家看一看他现场如何说的吧。
In this region, China is the big power, but it appears to have divided Southeast Asian countries because each of you have individual deep trade ties with China. So you have a situation, sir, where some of your neighbors are saying they're fighting rising Chinese territorial aggression. But you say the Chinese threat is Western phobia. It's not a serious threat.
Well, it is Western phobia because you talk to the West, the only issue they raise is South China Sea and they perceived Chinese aggression. I say from my experience, not only Malaysia but also in ASEAN, the engagement continues. In fact, we have called for the inclusion of the Code of Conduct, which was not initially agreed upon, but now the Chinese have considered.
But you say Western phobia. Your own foreign ministry described Chinese aggression as a serious threat to Malaysia's sovereignty after China sent fighter jets over your waters in 2021.
Yes, that's all that we say. That's what happened. The moment
but that doesn't sound like Western phobia. That sounds
no
that's
Western
your own
phobia
government.
Because they have been harping on this on a daily basis and in every meeting. And I'm saying, other than that, once we did object or protest, they stopped.
So you're saying that you found it as a one-off, but your own neighbors don't seem to agree. The Philippines defense minister said in May this year that China's expansionism is unabated. We are in for a long time struggle.
Well, I agree in the sense that Philippines is an exception because they continue to have issues, but they raise and always there is an engagement. This is not, you're not talking about Gaza or Ukraine. This is continued negotiations and engagement between these countries. The Philippines, because the claims, it's more contentious, the area in question. And we have always called consistently for negotiations to take place. But it doesn't happen as is promoted by the Western media, I hope, not Al Jazeera, but
No, I'm only citing your own. I'm not. These are not Western.
But it's out of context.
These are your own neighbors.
No, we have problems with all our neighbors. We have with Thailand. Why is it not an issue? We have problems, contentious claim with Singapore, with Brunei, with a maritime country.
Of course, you're right. All neighbors have differences. The difference with China is that China is the only one that literally claims all of the South China Sea as part of its territory.
But they're negotiating.
I know, but I'm saying it's that claim which sets it up as a basis for a lot of conflict.
But there's no aggression thus far.
Why is it then, sir, that it's not just the Philippines, it's Vietnam, it's Japan,
Yes,
it's even Australia, it's India in another geography.
Even Malaysia, we do have issues. We engage. My point is no aggression, is no show of force or military or perceived attacks. So once a note was sent, they took off the seat. As long as it's not a withdrawal of their claim.
Okay.
So why do you make it as if it is a real aggressive and contentious and...
No, I'm not making it. I'm just citing your own foreign ministry.
Yeah, but
can I ask you this? That some would argue that Prime Minister Ibrahim is being somewhat soft on China because they're your largest trading partner.
I'm soft with all my neighbors, with China, with the United States. What do you do with Gaza? But at the same time, you do express views, either privately or publicly, on these issues. Like the South China Sea, we expressed. We were very...
So trade is not a factor. It's not because of the high volume of trade between you and China that you downplay the Chinese threat.
We have high volume, highest with the United States. Number one is United States. Number two is Germany. Number three is China.
Would you say, though, coming back to my point about ASEAN, the idea of a group of small middle powers acting as a counterweight to China, that you see these divisions, you have a different view, your neighbors have a different view.
Why counterweight against China?
Let me finish the question.
Why not counterweight against America or India?
I'm asking only about the region at the moment. Much of the world recognizes Taiwan as part of China, so do you. But you're seen as someone who stands up for democracy, for people's aspirations. Does the will of the Taiwanese people not count? Because poll after poll shows they overwhelmingly do not want to be ruled by Beijing.
That's antecedent of history. If you accept Taiwan to be part of China,
yes,
you can express your views for or against, but it is a part of China. And the Chinese have to decide. Why this hypocrisy and contradiction? I see Taiwan is part of China, period. We may disagree with there are some excesses. Yes, express your view. But it must be in that context. It is one China. It's accepted by all.
You don't see the complexity there with Taiwan. You're someone who's very, very much a committed Democrat. Don't you feel somewhere, officially you might say that they're part of China, but don't you feel as a leader, as a Democrat, some empathy for that sentiment?
No, of course.
And
I do express empathy in many other issues. Since you're not asking it, I mean, so many other areas, empathy. There are, issues, religious issues, regional issues, tribal issues, in all these countries, even in Malaysia. Do you have views, conscience? Yeah, of course. But what you're suggesting is a way, a complicity or even condoning an attempt to break up a legitimate independent country. And I don't accept that. The only reason why these things crop up is because of antecedent history of a colonial past. And I am not in any way condoning colonialism.
No, it's not just a colonial framework, is it, Prime Minister? Because the Chinese themselves talk of reunification. If they are indeed one entity, then you wouldn't need to reunify. But if, as the Chinese have said...
Because the Seventh Fleet, my dear.
Okay.
That's why they talk about reunification.
Okay, you're bringing in the American angle. But China has said that if peaceful reunification doesn't work, they reserve the right to use force. If it comes to that, would you condemn that?
I always take it as a Malaysian example. If one province decide to break away, do we use force? I think I will protect the sanctity and unity of the nation.
So you would use force?
Yes. Because otherwise, to be fragmented, what are you suggesting? I mean, to me...
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just asking questions, which is my job as a journalist.
Yeah.
There are, as you know, there have been movements for independence.
But to me, when it comes to China, it's always this, I should say, not ambivalence. Ambivalence is a light word.
Okay.
But it's hypocrisy. You don't talk about, many countries in Europe breaking up, or within the United States, or within Africa, or even within other regions. But you focus only on China.